Hello, today I'm going to be showing you how to make an infographic out of this global music industry data. So here I have the IFPI 2013 data, and by putting this into an infographic, we're going to make it easier to see trends and compare the data. So to do this, I'm going to use two tools. The first, LibreOffice, just a basic spreadsheet. This will allow me to sort and manipulate the information. The second program I'm going to use is Adobe Illustrator. While there are online tools that let you just put information in and gives you an infographic, this gives you the most control. So because this is in tabular form, I can just copy it all and paste it right into my spreadsheet. So now we just have to clean up the data a little bit. We'll get rid of the ranking because we're going to sort the information later. We'll have our own rankings. We'll fix that little guy. And now I find it easier to work with decimals, so I want to change all these percentages just into decimals. So I'm going to highlight them all, right click Format Cells, and I'm working with a percent, so I'm going to select that, and I'm going to get rid of that percent sign. And press OK. And now as you can see, it only affected one. We just have to do a little bit more cleanup. So we got to get rid of that in each one. And as you can see, it changes it to the decimal points. And it'll look something like that when we're through. So now we have the percentages, but I want to add a little bit more data. So we're just going to insert columns here. Okay, I got a little happy adding columns. Okay, so we have the physical percentage of the overall value and the digital and performance rates and synchronization, but I want to know the actual value. So we're just going to add the actual values into these columns. And we can worry about formatting that text later. So here we have the total value in cell B2. We're just going to write a little equation. We want to multiply that by the percentage in C2. So that's the overall actual value. So if we just drag that down, it will populate all the rest of the cells with the proper equation, as you can see. So we want to do the same thing for digital. We still have the total in B2, but now we have the percentage in E2. Oops. And once again, we'll drag that down and it'll do it for us. After we do that, it'll look something like this. So now we have some nice numbers that we can put into an infographic. And we can sort these numbers in many different ways. For example, if you go to Data and Sort, we can use the headers and we can sort it by all of these things. So here, let's sort it by performance rate. So this is the percentage. So now we see that it's beside the one that I just clicked, sorted by performance rates. We can sort it again. This time, let's do overall synchronization value. And again, we see that it was sorted. For the sake of this next one, I want to sort it by the overall retail value, and I want to compare those numbers. To do that, I'm going to copy and paste this list of names just so I can do some more numbers to help me make the graph below it. All right, we're going to do a stacked Venn diagram. So first, we want to go into Illustrator, and we're going to make a circle, and that's going to be what everything else is compared to. and we can always change these colors later. So now we'll go back into our spreadsheet. And that's our base, so we're going to start it as 1. We're going to do everything as a ratio compared to the United States. So here we see their values in B2, the United States overall value, and Japan's is in B3. So we want to divide those. Other way. And now we have the percentage of Japan's overall value as compared to the United States. So if we write this code in all of them, we're going to end up having the percentage as compared to the United States. And we can take this into Illustrator and actually use these exact numbers so the stacked Venn diagram is at a proper ratio. This probably would have been a good time to have another cookie cutter type thing. And Denmark. Okay, so now we have those percentages. So we see Japan is 67%. So we'll take that in Illustrator. If we copy this circle, we'll change the color so we can tell the difference. Again, we can change this later. If we right click and press transform and scale, we can put that percentage right in. So we want uniform, so the whole thing is 67% the size of that. And now we have an accurate representation. So we can do this. We can even be more accurate. So we can 30.52%. So again, we will take this into Illustrator, and we'll copy that original one again. And now we'll put in the new number, 30.52. And again, we have an accurate representation. Okay, moving down to the UK, we see 29.14. Again, we'll just paste that original copy, transform, scale, put in our new number. Forgot to change the color on that. So now we'll paste it again, put in the numbers for France. And we'll just move those into a better spot there. Right, so now we have that, and we can move it and scale it anyway, and it'll maintain its ratios if we hold down the shift. So now we have the overall retail value compared with these percentages. You can go on and finish that. You can do this with you can use the same technique for any value. So let's say we want to make a bar graph. So we would go and get the rectangle tool, and again, the biggest number we would give a ratio of 1. That would be 100% of the size. So then we copy that, and let's say we want to transform this one to about half the size. Now, if we do it in uniform, the same way we were doing it before, let's say 45%, the whole thing will shrink. We don't want that. So we'll go back there and we'd go non-uniform. Horizontal, we want it to be just as wide, so we keep that at 100. But the vertical, we change to this new percentage. And now we have a proper ratio. So you can keep doing this with the numbers by copying the original bar and using that percentage. And because you can use this percentage, you can make all sorts of graphs and different visual representations of all this data. One thing I will say about Illustrator is it's rather time intensive and does require some knowledge and practice. But if you're able to use it, it gives you the most flexibility and allows you to make your infographic look exactly how you want it. So let's say after 4 hours, it might look something like this. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.